love to hear about the way that you've worked with practical sets and practical things.
And effects. Well, we also use maxitures. When you see the explosions of the lab and all, it's a gigantic miniature. It's not a digital miniature, it's a gigantic miniature. It has two advantages. Number one, you court the accident, meaning the explosion is going to dislodge things a different way. There's not going to be a guy with a particle effect pushing a lever, you know. But the other thing is I get the toys when they're left. I have a couple of giant batteries and I have the crucifixion table in miniature. But, you know, the creature was designed differently than any other Frankenstein movie because Mike and I discussed and I said, this is not made of stitches and wounds, and is not a person that came out of the ICU, you know? It's not an accident victim, it's a newly minted body. So it needs to almost look like the embodiment of the human spirit. It needs to be beautifully, almost aerodynamic. The patterns on the head are after a phrenology diagram in the 1800s. The body is almost streamlined in the lines to have access to muscles. We studied, I mean, for example, when a ligament snaps, you need to fish it and retract it. Again, pull it. How do you attach muscles? We found the attachment points and designed it so you saw it, and it was like a living anatomical statue. It was not, and because if you're cruel to a creature that looks like that, it's like, I don't understand how parents can be violent to a child. I don't. And this was the question in my mind: how can you see that this creature that is a beautiful blank and pour hatred into it? And the way to do it was the design. Mike Hill, I met him many years ago when I bought a 7-foot-tall close-up head of Boris Karloff. He had sculpted. I have a room dedicated to Boris's Frankenstein, where I have living life-size statues of him and Jack Pierce and the bride and Maria and this giant close-up, and I call it the living room in the house. and that's how I met Mike, and then we did Shape of Water together, and then we did this, and I think that I never do eye candy, I do eye protein. I tell the story through audio-visual means.
Full meal.
Yes, a full meal. I'm not serving you something that looks pretty. There's a reason. There's a reason for the color red. Comes from the mothers. There's a reason why the only character with purples is Mia. There's a reason why we echo the flowers around her bonnet, because they're the flowers of the grave of the mother, because it's played by the same actress, etc., etc., etc. Everything is cohesive with the story. And I told Mike, the moment a creature steps into the frame, you know what it is. It's true of the Shape of Water, it's true of the ghost of Santi on Devil's Backbone, it's true of the Fawn, the Pale Man, so on and so forth. Design is story. And we fight for all the departments to communicate. It's a table, it's a visual table with production design, makeup effect, makeup and hair, wardrobe, and cinematography. Without them, each is each. When we build the sets, we fix the windows because we're shooting all the light through the windows, so we're lighting with the set. When we test the fabrics, we light them with the light that Dan is going to use. That pushes the cyan or the magenta, and you know, etc., etc. And makeup effects exist there. When we designed the wardrobe, it was part of the makeup effects. And Mike is there makeup guys that can get you there 50%, 80% of the people will get you 50% there. 10% more will get you to 70. 5% will get you to 80. 1% will get you 100%. There's maybe 12 guys in the world, 12 people in the world that will do it. Mike is one of them.
That's incredible. Well, I also feel